Top 10 animals that evolved to not need eyes. You will never guess what the number 1 animal is. Like and subscribe for weekly videos. At the point when you stop to consider it for a second, there are in reality a ton of creatures that don't have eyes. Jellyfish, hydras, sea urchins, sea cucumbers, worms, and a lot more critters never advanced to methods for glancing around, and rather, utilize different intents to advance in the world. Other than those creatures, there are some that either had eyes at one point in their developmental history, and lost them after some time, or they developed eyes that were later delivered unequipped for seeing. Whatever their transformative specialty, these 10 fascinating creatures lost their capacity to see their general surroundings yet discovered inventive methods of enduring. 10 Brazilian blind characid, Stygichthys typhlops. Another types of legless reptile was found in 2011, and as the name proposes, it's totally visually impaired. These fascinating creatures have a portion of the qualities of snakes, however fall under the Dibamidae group of visually impaired skinks. In spite of the fact that they appear to be comparable, they have outer ears, and relying upon the sex, they may have little bulges where legs would ordinarily be found. The new species was found in Cambodia and imprints the first run through a creature of its sort was situated in the Southeast Asian nation. The blind legless lizard of Cambodia advanced not to require eyes, as it consumes almost its whole time on Earth tunneling through the dirt. As per one specialist, with regards to eyes, those transformations are basically a misuse of energy when you're managing underground passages. Legless reptiles developed before snakes, and numerous species, including this newfound one, are compromised. D. daliensis, to the extent any specialist knows, lives in a little zone on a solitary mountain in Cambodia, which is under danger from logging and different businesses. 9 Brazilian blind characid, Stygichthys typhlops in the caverns of Minas Gerais, Brazil, carries on with the Brazilian blind characid, a type of cavern-adjusted fish, which has advanced to no longer need eyes, or pigmentation. Like different types of tetra, they are little fish, matching 1.8 inches, 4.6 centimeters, and carry on with a generally single life in their cavern lakes. In the wild, they are getting more uncommon, due, in huge part, to a decrease in the neighborhood water table, which has brought about the evaporating of various lakes and streams. Notwithstanding their decrease in the wild, they are at times kept in aquariums as pets, where they are valued for their novel features. The fish was at first found during the 60s and was later rediscovered in the mid-2000s. Since that time, just a restricted populace has been concentrated in their local natural surroundings, just as in research facilities, where their conduct could be checked. They have no response to light, and there are no obvious eyes, where they would regularly be situated in other tetra species. They are the final types of Stygichthys, and there was previously a surface variation, however territory misfortune has likely brought about its eradication. The Brazilian blind characid is restricted to a 25 km long spring and is undermined by natural surroundings misfortune because of a bringing down of the neighborhood water table. 8 Kentucky cave shrimp, Palaemonias ganteri. The Kentucky cave shrimp is a freshwater types of troglobite shrimp found in the caverns of Barron, Edmondson, Hart, and Warren counties, Kentucky. The species has advanced without eyes of any sort, and its shell needs color, making it predominantly straightforward. They live solely in underground streams found in caverns and can be found generally in Mammoth Cave National Park. They make do in the low-energy climate off of the residue that washes into the cavern through the development of groundwater. Inside the residue, they locate a rich abundance of protozoans, parasites, algal cells, and other natural materials. Most types of shrimp have little eye stalks finished off with visual receptors of some kind, however the Kentucky cave shrimp developed without these and has no chance to get of detecting light. They look a lot of like ghost shrimp, a typical animal varieties found in numerous aquariums. Not at all like ghost shrimp, the Kentucky cave shrimp is undermined because of its restricted reach. It just involves a little zone inside Kentucky and is enduring here because of helpless water quality coming about because of a crumbling by means of groundwater defilement. Luckily, preservation endeavors are in progress to guarantee this abnormal creature doesn't vanish from the world. 7 Olm, Proteus anguinus. An olm is a type of oceanic lizard, which is the sole cavern-abiding chordate in Europe. It is altogether seagoing, which is abnormal for any land and water proficient, and it is found exclusively in collapses the Dinarcip Alps, where it consumes its time on Earth eating, resting, and rearing submerged. Their plump skin tone has won them the moniker of human fish by local people, and it has a rich history going back many years. The principal models were distinguished in 1689, where local people discovered them cleaned up after weighty downpours. They were accepted to be the posterity of a cavern-winged serpent. However, unfortunately, they are simple lizards, and can't inhale fire. Unlike a portion of different animal categories on this rundown, the olm has eyes, yet they are lacking and unequipped for seeing any light. It utilizes its different feelings of smell and hearing to explore its dull climate. Their eyes are shaped into little cuts, which are totally secured by straightforward skin, leaving no eyelids and no other seeing highlights. They have little appendages, with 3 toes on their lower arms, and 2 on its rear feet, and they need pigmentation, which is the reason they have a beefy, night-crawler look to their skin. 6. Kauai cave wolf spider, Adelikosa anaps. The Kauai cave wolf spider is a visually impaired bug found in just a couple of caverns situated in the Kaloa-Poipu area of Kauai, Hawaiian Islands, where just 6 populaces have been watched. They are generally little for wolf bugs, and just arrive at a body length of around 0.8 inches, 20 millimeters. Their over-the-ground cousins have huge eyes, yet the Kauai cave wolf spider has advanced to no longer need them. It has no eyes at all. They are totally innocuous to individuals, and rather, prey solely on a little amphipod found in its current circumstance, which itself is restricted to just 9 populaces in a similar region. Due to their restricted reach in the caverns of Kaloa-Poipu, the arachnid is under danger of territory misfortune and decay. This has come about because of human mediation and exercises, which have defiled their living space. The greatest danger has been the utilization of substance and natural irritation controls, which executes their expected prey species, bringing about noteworthy misfortunes to the known populaces of the Kauai cave wolf spider. They are right now recorded as imperiled, and endeavors are in progress to restrict their living space misfortune to guarantee their endurance. 5. Widemouth blindcat, Satan Eurystomus. The widemouth blindcat is a type of catfish found in Texas, and the main individual from the family Satan. Truly, Satan. The species was first distinguished in a dull well, demonstrating it advanced to live in a dark, underground climate. It is as of now found in just 5 artesian wells in and around San Antonio, Texas. They need pigmentation, and as their name infers, they have no noticeable eyes outwardly of their bodies. They do have eye remainders, recommending they once had eyes yet advanced to no longer need them. Their visual remainders are amazingly decreased in size, and have practically zero hint of a retina or focal point. However, the optic lot is available, it doesn't arrive at the brain. The widemouth blindcat is nearly more modest than ordinary catfish and just develops to a length of around 5.4 inches, 13.7 centimeters. They have been found with Scavanger skeletons in their stomachs, which infers they are a top-level hunter in their current circumstance. In light of groundwater tainting, they are as of now recorded as powerless, and their populace has been noted as declining. Preservation endeavors are in progress, yet there are huge difficulties because of their restricted reach to just a little region in Focal, Texas. 4. Blind albino cave crab, Munidopsis polymorpha. The blind albino cave crab is a type of squat lobster discovered uniquely in the caverns of Jamios del Agua in Lanzarote, Canary Islands. They are little, pale in shading, and totally visually impaired. They live only in magma tubes, which were made large number of years back after seawater overwhelmed into the caverns made by volcanic ejections. They are special to their current circumstance, and next to no has been found out about them since their ID in 1892. Regardless of the generally secret about them, they speak to the creature image of the island of Lanzarote. The blind albino cave crab lives in a cavern, which can be visited and is even recorded on TripAdvisor as a decent spot to look at while visiting Lanzarote. Truly, they look like small lobsters, which is really what they are, regardless of what their name infers. They need pigmentation and have no eye stalks of any sort. They have no response to light and get around by utilizing their feelings of smell, taste, and contact. In contrast to the vast majority of the species on this rundown, they are not right now recorded as compromised by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. 3. Southern cave crayfish, Orconectes australis. There are a few parts of the southern cave crayfish, which make it an intriguing example for study. One of the most significant insights regarding this critter is that it is a centenarian animal categories, which implies it can live more than 100 years, and one revealed case of a southern cave crayfish was noted to be over 176 years in age. The southern cave crayfish looks a lot of like different types of crawfish, however it needs pigmentation, making it clear, and it has no eyes or any response to light. They are found in underground cavern waters of Alabama and Tennessee, where it is recorded as being of least worry for survival. They match about 1.8 inches long, and have adjusted to their environmental factors with the end goal that they don't have to see to get around, which is acceptable seeing as there isn't any light where they live. They remain alive on little fish and bugs, just as whatever they can suck from the dregs washed into their current circumstance by means of groundwater. They have been watched sticking to dividers, on banks, and inside untamed water, where at that point appreciate covering themselves underneath rocks. 2. Mexican tetra, Astyanax mexicanus. The Mexican tetra is a type of charason found in the fresh waters of the Rio Grande, the Nueces, and Pecos rivers in Texas, just as different waterways in the focal and eastern pieces of Mexico. The fish developed to an amazing 4.7 inches, 12 centimeters, which is genuinely huge for a tetra and has no pigmentation, or eyes of any sort. Like the Brazilian blind cavefish, the Mexican tetra is well known among aquarists, where it is frequently kept in cavern-style tanks requiring negligible illumination. These fish initially had eyes, as their surface-staying cousins actually do, yet after some time, they advanced to lose them. Energy protection is unbelievably significant in their current circumstance, and researchers have derived that they lost their eyes after some time, as they not, at this point, required them. A distributed report established that for youthful, creating fish, the energy cost of sight is 15% more prominent than if they were visually impaired. This was because of the eager for energy needs of photoreceptive cells and neurons, which the fish totally needs. To make up for their absence of vision, they gather up and eat all that they run over, including dead creatures and plants. 1. Texas blind salamander, Eurycia rathbuni. The Texas blind salamander is an inconceivably uncommon type of troglobite land and water proficient discovered uniquely in San Marcos, Texas, where it tends to be found in the San Marcos Pool of the Edwards Aquifer. They can arrive at lengths of up to 5 inches, 13 centimeters, and their eating regimen empowers them to remain alive on whatever ends up streaming into its dim climate. This can incorporate types of visually impaired shrimp, snails, little fish, and whatever else they go over. The species was first distinguished in 1895 when they were separated from a recently built well, which drew water from a profundity of 58 meters beneath the surface. Since that time, they have been concentrated from 7 known areas in and around San Marcos. Because the Texas blind salamander needs eyes, having just subdermal blind dark specks where eyes would regularly be, it chases by detecting water development in its current circumstance, which is ordinarily totally still. It chases by moving from side to side, as it detects water pressure changes. They are uncommon, because of their restricted reach, and due to contamination to the groundwater in their general vicinity. Their populace has been on the decrease. The Yukon has recorded them as powerless, and preservation endeavors are in progress to secure them in their local living space.